Today's episode of the Bill Simmons Podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network. Brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor, the easiest way to shop for tickets thanks to their revolutionary grading system. Football fans, I hope you use the $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase on NFL tickets code. It's promo code BSNFL. If you haven't used it yet, use it this weekend. Download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. We're also brought to you by DirecTV. DirecTV or DirecTV, Sal? How do you say it?
Well, when I write the check every month, it's DirecTV.
DirecTV.
Yeah.
If you live in an apartment or an enrolled college student, now you can get NFL Sunday Ticket without a satellite. I gorged on NFL Sunday Ticket yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had a smorgasbord in my house. To see if you're eligible, go online to NFLSundayTicket.tv. Stream every NFL Sunday Ticket game this season to follow your favorite team no matter where you live. Use promo code Bill Simmons at checkout to save 15%. Again, NFLSundayTicket.tv, promo code Bill Simmons. We are also brought to you by The Rewatchables. That is our new pop culture podcast. Later today, Chris Ryan and I will be taping Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, it's a good one.
Which I rewatched this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you, it still holds up.
Does it? Yeah.
It's still great. Won all the Oscars. Every single Oscar could have won it.
Swept the board.
So we're taping that today. We're putting that up, I think, tomorrow. And if you want to bang out Silence of the Lambs after this late Monday Night Football game tonight, watch that. Also, last week we mentioned we had Shea Serrano on talking about Houston and the charities he supported, Shea 7. Just wanted to give those again. Supportthegirls.org, portlight.org, gofundme.com/ I can't even read it. It's so long. It's Angels by Nature is that one. HoustonImmigration.org, HoustonFoodBank.org, BakerRipley.org, HoustonPetSet.org. Don't forget to check those out. I put all of them on my Facebook page. Hope everyone in Florida is doing well today.
Yeah.
It all of a sudden, it was going toward my buddy Gus outside of Orlando. He thought he was going to miss it. Then all of a sudden, it was like the eye of the storm was coming at him.
Poor guy lived in Connecticut for 100 years.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Nothing ever happened. A little snow and it moves the family. But yeah, thankfully he posted pictures.
Kept power, but man, that was... would you be one of those weathermen who's out there...
No.
With 100-mile-an-hour winds? I feel like we should be more scared for these people. Yeah. One of these women was like almost like falling over the deck. I
talked to firefighters like, I can't drive the truck. I have to be in it. And I think it's probably the same feeling with some of these weathermen. Like, I'm
maybe
sick of standing in front of a green screen for 3.5 years before anything happens. So
Anderson Cooper was right in there. It's just like getting nailed. His hair's all over the place. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you get exhilarated by it. But I was scared for everybody. Hope everyone in Florida is doing well this week. Coming up, Cousin Sal and I breaking down week 1, doing the Guess the Lines week 2. Here we go. Pal Sal,
what's happening?
You had a flag football game, 5 o'clock, head-to-head with Cowboys Giants. You were all freaking out about it. Turns out you literally missed nothing. You missed not one thing.
I literally did miss nothing because I was the a-hole parent who was streaming the game on my phone, the DirecTV app. So
I love that. I've also been that a-hole parent. The bad thing is when your kid sees you looking at the phone, and it's a look of disappointment. It's better if you have a son than I think a daughter, because the daughter is just filing away like, oh wait till you see the guy I'm bringing home from college when I'm 19. That's the kind of glare they give you.
My son looked up from the field. I was about 18 rows up in the bleachers, and he saw I was watching my phone, and he took his actual flag, plays flag football, and dried a tear from his face. So,
wow.
What are you gonna do?
We had a terrible day of football yesterday. I got to be honest. Seattle versus Green Bay was a terrible game, and it was horribly officiated and was super disappointing. And then Cowboys Giants was worse.
You know, you wrote 6,000 words on how football sucks, and then it turns out football sucked.
I wrote how the offseason sucked. Yeah. I didn't know the season was going to suck.
What there was one. Let me go through these stats real quick. First of all, there were really no bad beats.
Yeah,
I think one game.
There was one bad beat. Well, it would happen to be your bet of the week. The Steelers minus 9.5.
We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But the only one game I think came down to the last play, and that was Falcons Bears. 2 games decided by a touchdown or less. The under was 10-2 yesterday. Not much scoring.
Ooh.
6 teams scored fewer than 10 points. And as Lombardi points out, the offense should be ahead of the defense at this point. So what are we to look forward to? Really bad.
I'm upset that we didn't have the Cowboys Giants under, which within 5 minutes was the most obvious bet of the week.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like, wow, the Giants look like they haven't practiced. Brandon Marshall and Eli must have miscommunicated. I still don't know whose fault it was. I just know that Brandon Marshall was repeatedly wide open, but the ball wasn't going anywhere near him.
Yeah. And the running game and the offensive line is bad and all that stuff. But it's now here's the thing. Now the overreactions. What's the biggest overreaction? Because I think I'm going to cut the Giants some slack. The best player was out. Your best player's out. It's going to show.
But did you see that graphic at the end where I think they've had 91 points in their last 7 games dating back to the last 6 from last year. Like they have not scored 20 points in a game since like mid-November.
Games.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I wanted to go through which fan base should be panicking the most about their QB before we get to guess the lines, all that stuff, because it's panic time.
Right.
Let's start with the Giants. Eli looked terrible. I don't know. First of all, they looked like they hadn't practiced all summer, and I don't know what they were doing for the last 3 months, but they just looked completely discombobulated. But he had no arm strength.
Yeah.
He had happy feet. We've seen him look like this a million times, but what's he in his mid-30s now? I think he's like 35, 36.
36, is it?
36. Yeah. If I'm a Giants fan, I'm concerned.
Sure.
I thought he looked awful.
For a couple years now, they should be concerned.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That offensive line may be as bad as everyone's saying. I don't know how much credit to give Eli here.
Offensive
But the
line,
Cowboys,
it wasn't
defense
good, but
should
he was still missing wide open guys.
Right. That's bad news. It's bad news.
So I'd be concerned if I think the days of starting.
Is this really a lit? I mean, there's going to be like
6 teams. No, I have 6.
Really?
I think if you're starting Eli in a fantasy team,
Yeah.
I hope it's like a 25-team league.
Right.
Because I can't think of at 12 teams or less. I can't think of any scenario where you ever start Eli Manning again in a
like
fantasy
8
league.
games are canceled because of hurricanes or something. Like I don't know why you would.
But the hurricane would have to go through the entire United States.
Yeah.
Number 2 team freaking out about their QB, the Cardinals. Carson Palmer was just an atrocity yesterday, and he was up and down last year. I remember him finishing the year okay, but Lombardi was obsessed with this topic. Like, what are you going to do about a QB? You can't bring him back. He's not going to get better. He's just older.
Yeah.
He was really, 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 like, almost looked like he was throwing the game, even though I know he wasn't, like some of the passes he made.
Right.
And I thought he was so bad it single-handedly changed that game. They got a turnover touchdown to start.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like they should have had momentum, and he was awful.
Lost David Johnson along the way a little bit, so that wasn't great. But I apologized for. I had the Cardinals, I think, winning 10 games, and I forgot how atrocious he is. Like, and it's not even just when he's pressured now. It's really just he's
missing
doing
throws.
it on his own. He's missing throws.
Looks Matt Schaub in 2011 or whatever that year.
Yeah.
That kind of feel to it.
Right.
I had him as my DraftKings quarterback this week.
Oh, wow.
Just torpedoed my team. It was just that was it. It
So
was
bad.
I could have had
Well,
every other guy
they
right.
passed on drafting a quarterback. They could have had Mahomes. They were in a nice spot for any of those guys. But
yeah. Well, so from what I saw from him, I don't think that gets better. The Bengals.
Yeah.
So that was one of my big picks. Sally did well in my column.
I saw that. You're
the NBA
Charger
hole.
teaser
Away from the sweep.
I hate football. I hate football. I hate football. Here are my winners, and they're all going to win.
No, I didn't say I hated the offseason, but I had the Rams. I went big on the Rams.
Yeah.
I went big on the Ravens.
Beautiful.
And then I have the Steelers Chargers tease, but the Bengals, they were 6-9-1 last year. They brought back the coach and the QB, who have never had any real success, and now their offensive line is worse. And I think.
Bad.
We've never really seen Andy Dalton with a bad offensive line. He's always had really good offensive lines and has maybe he's overachieved for what he actually is. He was horrendous yesterday. That team's going to be bad.
Do we want to? This is one.
That might be the overreaction team. Is that the overreaction team or are they bad?
What's weird about that is I like in these lopsided games, we tend to give less credit to the team that won, like the Ravens. We probably should be praising the Ravens a little more.
Defense was great.
And instead, we go after the Bengals like, wow, they're really bad. And I put a poll up on Twitter. I said, Bengals fans, which Lewis would you want coaching your team? Marvin, right now, Marvin, Huey, or Jerry? And Huey Lewis.
Jerry's dead. We should pour it out.
No, yeah, we should pour it out for Jerry, but over 5,000 votes, and Huey, I think that's like 57%.
At least Huey would be a breath of fresh air, a new face.
He's a sports fan.
I don't know if you're a Bengals fan. You're just looking at Marvin Lewis and Andy Dalton and was like, this duo has already peaked, and we never won a playoff game when they peaked.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for Joe Mixon to get good to give a little spark into this offense. I think they're in trouble.
It's not good. And I made a big bet in week 1 in the column about that Ravens D because I liked what they did. I like when teams double down on something they're already good at, and the Ravens are just like, screw it.
Yeah.
That was my computer for some reason. The Ravens are like, screw it. We're good at D. We have Justin Tucker.
Right.
We're good at home. Let's just double down on all that, and we'll score 14 points a game, and maybe we'll get defense and special teams. And it's really the fantasy strategy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is my fantasy team this year because I have Justin Tucker and the Ravens defense. It was like 33 points combined. All right, so those 3. Now the 4th team, the Panthers. I thought Cam looked terrible. Tate.
A lot of people
we
wanted
gave Tate a mic this year just for a tiny bit.
This is more. A lot of people wanted me to pass that message on to you, Tate, that Cam is awful. But
Cam looked banged up and missed throws. That was my takeaway from Cam yesterday.
He's always bad on the West Coast. That was where the Super Bowl was. Sorry, choked. Had a lot of like mental stuff going on. He just managed the game and they won. It was easy.
Okay.
I'm not freaking out.
I was more concerned than that.
I thought there'd be a lot more scoring. I really did. I don't know why.
What about McCaffrey, though? We heard about McCaffrey the whole summer. He had a lost fumble. He got the most touches on the team. He struggled.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to keep an eye out on that Panthers team.
I like them. I still think they win 10 games.
You were very bullish on them.
I think they win the division.
I didn't like how he played in that game. Seahawks is the 5th team that should... the fan base that should be worried about their quarterback because
line. Like this is.
Well, I'm worried. Does Wilson play 16 games?
I don't know.
Does he play 13 games? I mean, he was running for his life.
I mean, this was the thing. A month ago, their left tackle goes out, and everyone's like, "Oh boy, well they'll replace him." His stats weren't that great, and he was like 26 or something. And then they signed Sheldon Richardson and make all these defensive moves. Like Seahawks are unbeatable. Like they still can't protect this guy. And one of my preseason prop bets that I'm most proud of is Eddie Lacy under 750 yards.
He looks like he's going to be out of the league in mid-October.
I like that. But they're going to win the division, right? Like the Rams are going to challenge them? What happens now?
I think Mays pointed this out on Twitter. Apologies if it was somebody else. Mm-hmm. The Packers are a Deion Lewis trade waiting to happen.
Oh.
Even watching them yesterday, they have Montgomery, who I like, but they're missing that. Lacy's just can't play anymore. Mm-hmm. If they had a Deion, the Pats, for some reason, have 4 good running backs and nobody good on defense anymore.
Right.
But Deion Lewis, I think, is a logical trade for them. I don't want to overreact to how bad the Seahawks line was because I think the Packers D might actually be pretty good this year. And it was a weird game, and they got boned over by really 2 of the most horrific
calls. You didn't see
calls.
a punch? I saw a punch by Lane. I really did.
The guy, he attacked him. He grabbed his face mask. He went completely after him. A lot
of these things, the league looks at it to see if they're going to suspend the player further. And I actually think they're like, not only are we going to suspend you, but we're going to give you a little per diem here. Here's $150. Just put it in your pocket. What happened?
I didn't bet on the Seahawks. I did have them in the Super Contest.
Right.
And they just had 11 points taken away.
Yeah.
And they lost by 11. But they
were bad in the second. That game was lost when they, again, goal line troubles. They kicked on 4th and goal at the 2.
Yeah.
They should have. They need 7 there.
Inside the 2 is just their.
You just know the Packers aren't done scoring, right? So you have to get 7 there.
The pick 6 would have helped.
Sure.
It would have helped if they had the lead and once they fell from behind, you kind of knew it was over. Yeah. But I'm with Wilson. He said after the game he didn't understand why they didn't go no huddle more, spread out shotgun. That seems like a team that should be doing the spread out Tom Brady second half of Super Bowl 51 offense.
I think that would help.
Pace, guys move around. I like their running backs. I thought Carson was good.
Yeah,
he'll go for $20 in our fantasy league this week, I feel like.
Oh, you think so? Well,
yeah, he's good.
The Bears guy, Tariq Cohen, is the...
well, that's the one. So I have Jordan Howard.
Oh, right.
I spent $45 on Jordan Howard, and he's not the best running back on his own team.
How much are you going to bid? What are you bidding?
I'd have to bid 100. I just have to clean out everybody.
Here's what I'll say. You talked about teams that didn't look ready. Seattle looked not prepared at all. Guys like falling down, like cramping up and everything. They just
That
looked
was weird.
exhausted, everybody. And,
Yeah, who was the guy
the
who-
12 men on the field, like Aaron Rodgers, like as soon as it'd be interesting to see how many games they've lost when he's caught a team with 12 men on the field and has done that pass thing. Like probably 0 or 1 over the last 5 years.
Who was the guy at halftime? They were Michael. Was it Michael Bennett?
Bennett was in
He was like,
trouble,
yeah, he's
yeah.
still in the locker room. He's dehydrated. It's
Right.
like, I don't know. What do they practice? The sixth team that should be concerned about their quarterback, or maybe not concerned. The Washington professional football team.
Yeah, again, offensive line just running for his life, and the throws weren't there either.
Is this a way to knock down his value? You just gave him 5 terrible offensive linemen.
Oh, I see.
And he stinks, and then you can sign it. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year anyway. Then
That's
you get him
smart.
for like $8 million a year.
That's
he
pretty
just gets
good.
shellacked. Maybe he'll break his collarbone in week 6.
Yeah, it's true. Where are they paying these? Where are they paying these blue chippers? Yeah.
Of the teams / fan bases that should be excited about quarterbacks, please don't throw Blake Bortles at me. I thought Lombardi and Tate did GM Street last night. Lombardi nailed the Bortles thing. Bortles with a lead, not asking to do anything, looks fine. I'll be interested when they're down 10 without Allen Robinson now, who's out for the year.
Sure. And
But,
I think they wanted to run 70% of the time, and they did just that. Like that's the only way
Right.
they stay in these games.
14 to 10,
Right.
17-13.
Take it. They're not going to get 10 sacks a game, that's for sure. Not going to get
No.
4 out of Calais Campbell. Every
I
game.
don't know why Houston started Tom Savage, but Watson's in. Hopefully they'll start him Thursday night.
Yeah.
I thought Goff looked good, but Indy's so bad, it's hard to say, but at least he didn't look bad.
Right.
So that's a bonus. But the one who looked good was Wentz.
Yeah.
I thought Wentz was
Well, that was a spectacular
Wentz
throw
was
to
doing stuff
Aguilar.
last night. Yeah, if I'm an Eagles fan, it'll be interesting. Lombardi kind of went all in on Doug Peterson not being competent enough to coach, but
Right.
I don't think he was factoring in the Carson Wentz jump from year 1 to year
Resurgence.
2, which we've seen.
We have, but they always get off to a good start, don't they, Philly?
In the
I'm not
and,
too excited.
And the Washington team might not be good.
Right.
So that's a
LeGarrette
possibility.
Blount.
Yeah.
6 games in a row with a touchdown now.
Went for like a buck in our league.
$1. And it was like one of those fast bids, too. It was like
Yeah.
$1, LeGarrette Blount going once, going to. It's like, whoa. Well, nobody really wants him, but should he go for $1? All right, drop the hammer, $1. It was very strange.
I'm still recovering from when I threw Matt Forte out for $1 and nobody bid and I got stuck with him. Thought he would go for 2, so everybody just kind of stared at each other. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, Matt Forte for
Everyone got
$1.
cheap at the right time.
DraftKings week 1 is in the books. 1 week fantasy football on DraftKings keeps going. A $100,000 contest that is free to enter. Here's my advice: don't make Carson Palmer your quarterback.
I had
'cause that's-
Cousins in DraftKings yesterday.
Oh man,
Same thing.
Who was the best quarterback? Was who? Wentz. It's probably Wentz, right?
It might have been Goff.
I mean, Alex
it was
or
Goff.
Goff. Jesus, well, if you had Jared Goff, congratulations.
Yeah.
On DraftKings, choose between public contests with big cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against a group of friends, or my personal favorite, single entry contests. Each person can only enter one lineup. They also created Pick'em this year, newest and fastest way to play 1 week fantasy. They organize players into 8 tiers. All you have to do is select one player from each tier. And the best part about DraftKings, draft a new team each week without any commitment. It's like dating. It's like Tinder.
Yeah.
Go
We're
to
good at that, too.
DraftKings.com, use promo code Simmons to play in DraftKings free contest with $100,000 in total prizes. A Sunday draft, a perfect lineup. That's promo code Simmons. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. We're going to talk about week 2 in a second. You lost week 1 on the Steelers. You left the back door open. I told you to lock the back door.
You're right.
You went to bed. You're like, no, I think my wife locked it.
Right, I'm still in the
Doors
summer
open.
haze. Yeah.
People are just coming in your house, and you're 0-1 for the year.
Well, I knew for sure when the Steelers, first of all, first touchdown of the year, nice emotional roller coaster is the block punt.
Yeah.
And the Steelers recover 7-0. I'm like, great, I'll take that. That's my best bet. 21-10, 12 minutes left. Big Ben throws a pick at the goal line. I was like, that's it. This team's done scoring. And
He had the
have
Browns
something
plus 9.5.
he really did. They really looked like a team who just wanted to win. That was it.
I'm going to throw this out there. Are we sure the Browns are bad?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're that good.
It wasn't like the Steelers were mailing in that game, not trying to win it, not doing stuff. I think they thought they kept thinking there was going to be this moment they pulled away, and they never did. And the Browns kind of hung around. Even that last drive for the backdoor cover was like a nice drive.
I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. But what do you mean not bad? Like 5 wins? Well, they're not gonna get more than 5.
Well, I
wins.
think people thought, like in our wins pool that we did, the
Right.
Browns and the Jets were the only two
didn't
teams
go.
that didn't get picked. Somebody picked the Colts. I think the Browns are better than the Colts, right?
Sure, for sure.
Wouldn't you say the Browns? I think I'm sorry, the Colts. I think the Colts are the worst team in the league.
I'm not. Colts under 7.5 was the best over/under win bet.
God.
Like, it's just it's such a
And somehow
winner.
I didn't do it, even though I wrote a big chunk of my Friday column about
Yeah.
go against the Colts. This is the team to
Right.
short.
Pagano's
And
like
somehow
last.
7.5 wins. They never were going to get 7.5 wins.
Yeah.
Is that gone? We can't bet that now?
I don't think we can get down to 2.5.
Chuck's first coach fired thing has got to be even
gotta
odds
be,
at this
right?
point.
I mean,
He had some weird quotes. Greg Doyle wrote a good piece in the Indianapolis Star. Chuck Pagano had quotes like, "This is our offensive line. I promise you they're going to be good." Like he went all in on a couple things, and they're just
what about
horrendous.
the other quote after the game, giving kudos to the 49ers? The team,
Oh, yeah.
he didn't even. He's preparing for the wrong team. Of course, he's going to lose.
Tolzien's now 0-3-1
Yeah.
in starts, and with I think 2 touchdowns and 9 picks career. He's 30 years old. I'm going to say he's
Wow.
not going to get better. I'm
He
just
might
throwing
not be
that
the
out
guy.
there.
Yeah.
Like Jacoby Brissett, just bring him in and
He's
run
gotta
the
be in.
freaking option with him.
He's got to be in.
Fantasy guys that I thought. Are you just want to make sure you're good with Steelers Browns? You've recovered your shit, shook it off.
The only other thing that's a bummer, and I'll bounce back this week. But Hugh Jackson gave us a shot. Gave me a shot. It was 21-10. It was 4th and 2 at the 4th and 2 at the 4. And he needs 2 scores. I would thought he'd kick there.
Field goal.
Yeah, I was like,
the
oh my
touchdown.
God, I have another shot here. And then I was like,
Yeah.
something stupid by the goal line anyway.
We had teasers. First of all, we cheesed the Chiefs and the Pats. So we started out Thursday night. I've already lost money. Then we did Steelers, Falcons, and Rafael Nadal.
Right.
Barely won that one. Thanks to Jordan. Do we have to send Jordan Howard a cut?
We may have
for
to,
dropping
yeah.
that pass at the goal line.
If he catches that pass, though, doesn't the time run out? I haven't seen a ton of written on that.
Oh, that's
It's like 12
interesting.
seconds
He would've
left.
gotten tackled.
Yeah, they had no timeouts.
And then the other one we did was Nadal Steelers. What can you imitate the text I sent you at like 9:00 yesterday
What was it? I can't remember.
about the Texans?
I can't even remember what you said. We have to.
I was like, I'm watching these pregame shows.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way the Texans are losing today. They're going
That's
to be
such a
fired
bummer.
up. Blake Bortles walking in the heart of the beast, and they're down 19
There's just
nothing.
too much
So
emotion,
we lost
I
on
guess.
that, but
Yeah.
we can still Chargers.
We
We
have
still
the
break
Chargers.
even for the
yeah. We'll be
fantasy. Tariq Cohen, Kenny Galladay, who's somehow on the Bar Owls team in our league. I
Yeah,
didn't
someone
realize.
has it. Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar, the Ravens D. Any other fantasy? I can't believe who
I don't
could
know.
have seen that one.
Do the Ravens running back West and Bo? What's his name?
I like the other guy.
Who is it?
Javorius.
Javorius.
Yeah.
Buck
Somebody?
Allen. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Could
I
be
liked
around.
him. Fantasy guys to be worried about. I'm concerned about Allen Robinson. No, he's out for the year.
Don't Don't believe everything. you
David
read.
Johnson looks like he's out for 6-7 weeks
Is
with a
that what they're
sprained
saying?
wrist, which makes no. He's sprained wrist. You can't play with a sprained wrist.
Wow.
I think it's got like a break or something. It's
gotta be a break.
Something bad. Jordan Howard. Wow, it'd be terrible to spend.
How much did you spend on him? 45.
$45. I should have set it on fire. And then,
What about the Patriots receivers? And
well, I was going to
everything?
say Gronkowski.
Yeah.
We didn't talk after the Monday game. We didn't talk
Thursday.
on the podcast after the Thursday
Thursday
game. Gronkowski looked old in that game. It really scared me as a Pats fan. And Lombardi pointed out in the podcast with Tate today, like they started out doubling Gronk. And about in the second quarter, Eric Berry's like, I got this.
Berry's
Put the other
one.
guy somewhere else.
Wouldn't let him off the line.
Eric Berry shut down Gronk,
Yeah.
which I got to say, he's 28 years old. I've been watching him since 2010. I've never seen a safety shut him down one-on-one like that before. And Gronk looked uncoordinated and slow. And I don't know what hopefully he was sick. But this could be the end of an era.
No. Well, two things. First of all, you're not a true Chiefs fan if you wouldn't trade that win to have Eric Berry back, because
Right.
that is a rough blow, and he is
Yep.
the only reason that Gronk couldn't get open. The second thing is, I texted, we're trying to put together a teaser. You and said, you're like, no, I like the Patriots, Steelers. We should do that teasers. I said,
You
why
were
don't
with
we
me
do
on the Patriots.
we ended up doing it, but what I proposed and I ended up also doing was Patriots to win and Gronk to score a touchdown. So they're up
and he
7-0.
scored.
Gronk catches the touchdown pass. I text yes and 17 exclamation points. I go to my car to get something, and I'm getting a bunch of texts from people, including you, like, classic Sal, like hilarious from other people.
La
Like,
La Land for week 1.
what the hell happened? I go
Yeah.
back. Not only does he not score, but they get stopped on 4th down. If they go up 14-0, that game is over. Maybe
Well,
the season's over for everybody else.
It's the key point because, first of all, he should have caught it.
Yeah.
And at every point of his career, he catches that pass. This is the first year where it's like he had a step on the guy. Mm-hmm. The ball was delivered in the perfect spot, and he should have caught it. And
Right.
it was a 4-point swing, and 14-0. The Chiefs have to basically throw away their playbook at that point and play from behind. And I don't know. I wonder if that's going to be one of the most memorable moments of the season.
That's the biggest overreaction right now, that the Pats defense is awful. Out of every overreact, I don't hear a ton of people
people
saying
should know by now.
Jacksonville that the Pats defense is awful, and maybe that the Rams are a playoff team. No, those to me are the two biggest.
The Rams might be a
overreactions.
playoff team. If you look at the sched,
I'm just looking at the
I
rest
laid
of the
this out on
division.
Friday.
Maybe, yeah.
9-7 is very realistic for them.
Aaron Donald back with
Another
Wade Phillips.
overreaction.
Yeah.
Thursday night ratings down 11.5%.
Right.
It's a big number.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I
That
don't know.
means out of every 100 football fans or casual football fans, 11 of them this year decided I'm not interested in Pats Chiefs.
So what are they blaming? Are they blaming Kaepernick for the Pats Chiefs? Like, the guy's not in the league. So why
Zeke
are they, what are
Elliott.
they blaming now? I just can't believe
Collinsworth,
it.
big misfire by Collinsworth last night.
What did he do?
That when they brought up Elliott in the beginning, he's like, "We're gonna just talk about him as a football player today." It did not go over well.
Is he going to have to
on
come on
social
and
media.
apologize here?
Nah, they made up for. I think somebody got to them because in the third quarter they
Yeah.
started talking about it.
It's rough.
You can't avoid the Zeke Elliott if you're doing this Sunday night game.
I want to see the guy show some remorse. That's it. Just a smile on his face. It goes such a long way.
I will say the
Such a long way.
feed me sign had definitely
Yeah.
not as much fun this year.
Right.
It's like, all right, good, great.
After like a 12-yard run,
Feed
like
me.
not even
Yeah.
a big deal.
Another hero of the week, an Italian kicker, Giorgio Tavecchio.
Love it.
Is this our
Janikowski-
new favorite guy?
Janikowski may not see the field anymore.
Dude,
That could be a Hall of Famer.
We lost a Polish kicker, which is
Yeah.
a blow, but we've gained a Korean kicker and an Italian kicker.
That's all right. It's nice.
Pretty exciting. Giorgio Tavecchio. It sounds like a George Clooney character. Like this is gonna be a George Clooney sports movie.
Yeah.
And then finally,
vodka.
your boy, Tony
Who's my
Romo.
boy? What do you give him? At least a B+, right? Very solid, I thought. Uh-oh.
So, no, I'm gonna actually. You know what? Quickly, DirecTV.
Oh, come on.
No, I want to save Tony Romo.
All
We're gonna do it
right.
right
Save
after
Tony
this.
Romo. Go ahead.
For over 20 years, DirecTV has been the exclusive home for NFL Sunday Ticket. The only way to get every live game every Sunday. I hope you had it yesterday. Good news, NFL fans. If you haven't heard, they have expanded the service. If you live in an apartment or an enrolled college student, now you can get NFL Sunday Ticket without a satellite. Guess when you could have used it? If you lived on the West Coast yesterday,
Right.
you wouldn't have heard Tony Romo.
That's true.
It's the only way to get it. DirecTV. To see if you're eligible, go online to NFLSundayTicket.tv. Stream every NFL Sunday Ticket game this season to follow your favorite team, no matter where you live. Use promo code Bill Simmons at checkout to save 15%. 15%. That's not only great value, but now I get Tony Romo in my life.
Nice.
Because he
All
might
right.
be the best
Oh, good. You're going to say
might be the
something
best
nice about
analyst.
football. Go ahead.
since early Collinsworth
I
of
love
the
it.
new guys. Once again, NFLSundayTicket.tv, promo code Bill Simmons. Couple things I liked, and a lot of people have wrote about it last night and this morning. He was predicting stuff. We had reached this kind of Phil Simsification. Poor Phil Sims took more of a beating yesterday just because
for
Romo
not
was good.
having broadcasted.
But Phil Sims, it was a lot of this, something would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they're showing the replay, and Phil Simmons is like, you know, we talked about it with the coach last night. He said they're going to, it's like, well, why didn't you tell us?
Right, yeah.
Romo, they're going to the line, and Romo's like, they're, you know, it's third down. They just ran on this play. That means they're going to go for it on fourth because
Sure.
you wouldn't run for it on third. He's actually explaining shit to me. He's looking at the line,
Yeah,
he's
predict more.
guessing plays.
Why not predict more?
This is going to be a run. I bet they run again.
Absolutely.
Watch the receiver on the right. I'm like, I felt like I was watching the game with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's raw on some. Is definitely he's got to work on when the crowd gets loud to yell more and stuff like that. But
sure.
But if the goal was I'm watching a game with Tony Romo, mission accomplished. I felt like we were watching the game with him. What'd you feel?
Absolutely, same thing basically. Like I think he like a little slow start. I think he kind of tried to take everything in, and then the analysis was super. And I love the predicting. And why not predict? No one's going to think that the football is fixed if you make a prediction and get it right. You know, like it's great. I think he has like a nice boyish enthusiasm to the game, and not the Jimmy Fallon type that you want to punch in the face,
right?
But just nice. It really does feel like someone
he genuinely enjoyed it. Yeah,
you're not watching. There should be a difference between what you're watching and then playing Madden and hearing these guys broadcast in in a vacuum kind of thing.
There's not a lot of good color guys just in any sport. Like basketball really doesn't have one right now. I think Van Gundy's probably the closest. He gets too obsessed with officiating and stuff like that, but. You know, him and Jackson, it's become shtick to some degree, I think, at this point. Smoltz is good, but kind of humorless.
Yeah.
For hockey, I don't even know who the hockey.
Yeah, which one? You like Collinsworth. A lot of them are in football.
I like Collinsworth. Yeah. Collinsworth's good. I'm used to Collinsworth at this point.
Right.
I had just like new blood. You know, I thought for the NBA, I thought Steve Kerr was the best guy. It was like a real loss when he left. They've never really replaced him. In terms of new blood, this was really good.
It's great.
And I think it has a potential. Tell the story about when you were watching him play Madden. You got to tell that story.
Well, I was. I bring up Madden and say, he was, I don't even know. Have I told this before?
No, you have not.
We were over Tony Romo's house, Jimmy and I, and he's talking about broadcasting. And he showed us
this summer.
It was the summer. He showed us a little, like he called the Chiefs Falcons game, and that was the one. Was that Barry ran it back?
Yeah,
the 2-point conversion, 100 whatever. So he called that again, and he showed us, and I was like, you know what you should do? You should watch Madden and see what the play-by-play is and the color commentary, and then you could see what's marketable. Then you could see what you want to stay away from or go with. And he's like, that's a great idea. So he puts Madden on and he plays, and we end up watching him play all afternoon, beating up on these 12-year-olds. Now, he's only playing ranked kid guys in the world because at his rating, that's all you could do. And he's not listening for a second to what the color commentator. And Jimmy's like, do you realize you didn't listen at all to what they're saying? He's like, yeah, I know, I got to beat this guy.
Right.
And he was changing every play at the line because he would see what defense is, and he'd go for 13 yards on an offensive play. It was like spectacular. Finally,
and he's playing like the top 50 Madden guys in the world.
And the kids are taunting him because you could hear it over the audio. He never says anything back. They have no idea they're playing Tony Romo. But it was a great thing. And then finally, he lost his. Some kid was playing the Vikings who had to hit, stick, fumble, button down, whatever it is.
Just kept fumbling.
Every completion he had, it was an immediate fumble.
So Romo was just going to the line in Madden, seeing what the defense was, and every time audibling for 13 yards.
Right. He's like, I say he's not smart enough to keep the safety, to cheat the safety here. So I'm going to come back with that.
This is great, man.
This is spectacular.
It's funny, for different reasons. I think A-Rod being in the Fox studio, he's had this second life to his career now, and it's actually, he was somebody who was hugely unpopular and now is kind of become more liked from TV.
Yeah.
Romo was very well liked, but then had this whole thing, there's this whole polarizing, is he a playoff QB or all that stuff. I think he's going to be the most popular color guy we've had for football since Madden. I really do. From what I saw yesterday, I was like, this guy is going to be the best at this job. Now, what would be funny?
I thought that too, and then I also thought, as I saw Savage fall apart, I'm like, how quick a flight is it from Tennessee to Houston, right?
But that's why I'm bringing all this up. The irony is going to be in 6 weeks, he's going to just play for an NFL team.
Yeah, right.
He's going to sign with whoever, like the Cardinals, and then he's going to be gone, and we're going to like, oh my God, this 6-week Tony Romo TV experiment.
Well, it's funny when Jay Cutler came, someone asked him, would you be willing to go back to Fox if this doesn't work out? He's like, I don't know. It's something I would consider. It's like, you better consider it. This is not a 10-year gig. You're gonna be back figuring something out.
I feel vindicated though, because in 2015 we watched that playoff game with him.
Right.
It was the Packers game, I think, with the Hail
The one
Mary.
that went overtime, yeah. Packers, Cardinals.
We came on the podcast and I was like, Tony Romo's going to be great on TV. Remember, we had the whole
Sure.
conversation about it. I was like, this guy's was
I know.
unbelievable watching the game with him. He's just pointing
I didn't
stuff
want
out,
to hear
telling
it
us.
because I didn't think his career was
Right,
over.
you thought he had 7
I was
years
shutting you
left.
out. Yeah.
All right, week 2.
Let's do it.
We should mention tonight we have 2 games. By the time people are hearing this, the games.
Right.
One of them was Saints Vikings, Chargers Broncos. We both like the Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Vikings too.
I like the Vikings as well.
I think they went pretty big.
That line's a little bit low.
They're both like 3 now.
And this could be the year of the rookie running back, and Cook would play into that because we've seen Kareem Hunt. Fournette looked awesome. Like, he's a wrecking ball. The kid on the Ravens, is he a rookie?
They all look pretty good.
Who, Javorius Allen?
No,
He's second-year guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been around.
Maybe like just the up-and-coming new generation of running backs could be a theme.
How did Mixon do? I mean, it was so bad, that offense.
Yeah, it was
they had a
hard to
couple
say.
Yeah, but otherwise, they're like 4 good rookie position players.
And is that kid
here.
Carson a rookie, or is he second year?
Yeah, rookie Oklahoma State.
New blood. Thursday night, Cincinnati at home for the Texans. This is almost a must-win game for either of these
It
teams.
looks pretty bad. You don't want to be 0-2 8 days into the season with quarterback troubles.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be the case for one of these teams.
We'll see Deshaun Watson, I think.
I think
he did
so,
enough
too.
to keep the job.
Yeah.
I have the Bengals by 2.
I had them by 3.5, and it is 3.5. So I'm up on you 1-0.
Okay.
I mean, if the Bengals lose two in a row at home, you do call Huey Lewis in, right? I mean, it's that, it's that easy.
If you look at that AFC South, hard to say if you and I were not believers in Tennessee. We talked about it all week. Somehow didn't bet on against them, but I didn't see anything yesterday from them that made me think they're going to win 9 games.
For who? Tennessee.
For Tennessee,
You didn't see anything that makes you.
yeah,
no.
they look like an 8-8 or worse team.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, their D is good. I mean, they spent money and their defense is good. They
Right.
still have Blake Bortles.
Right.
Maybe he can do the 2000 Trent Dilfer routine for 17 weeks and just hand off and stay out of trouble. But
Write the Colts off.
write the Colts off, obviously.
Right.
Texans, if they go 0-2, wonder how many teams have won a division starting out 0-2. That can't be a long
we'll see the
list.
stat.
I'm sure they'll show it 100 times.
750,000 times.
I like the Texans.
Let me ask you this. You remember Florida Evans?
Yeah. What do you mean, do I
I'm
remember?
going
that?
back 40 years.
Seen
I know.
every one of those.
I know, I'm talking
Good
to
Time.
Tate. He won't
Good
even
Times
move.
is still... Tate, you've seen Good Times.
No way.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No, he's seen the poster in your office, but that's
Yeah.
it. He doesn't know. Florida Evans was always disappointed.
Yeah.
She was disappointed in her husband.
She'd reason
lose
her.
apart. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
He'd buy a TV every time he thought he was going to get a job.
That was disappointing.
Yeah.
Michael would lead some protest at school. He'd get
Yeah.
in trouble. That was disappointing. What's her name? Thelma and JJ fighting. She was the most disappointed sitcom character of all time.
Yeah.
Who was the Florida Evans team of week 1? I think it's the Texans. Who would you say is the most disappointing?
The Florida Evans.
Like you look, I'm like, oh, that sucks because I thought they would be better.
It was hard to say with even though I thought the post-hurricane, all that stuff, the emotion in the building, but everybody kept talking about how bad their offensive line was in the preseason. So I can't say I was like stunned. The one
Are they at least the Carol Brady team? No.
you can't.
I have them at
You think they're the most disappointing?
But I know you have to factor in emotion.
I got to be honest. I think the Giants were the most disappointing.
Oh, really?
That's a team people were talking about as a fringe Super Bowl contender. Their defense is great. Paul Perkins, who I had in fantasy last year, who sucked last year, and he sucked last night.
I just think
They did not look like a playoff team.
If they beat the Lions by 10 and with Odell, they're back.
I don't know if we had the Florida Evans team.
All right. Well, that's something to look for.
I like it. I like the gimmick, though.
Yeah, Florida Evans. it'll bring the old 70s sitcom fans back.
We're going to do
to
that.
our podcast.
It's on TV1, channel 329
watch it.
on DirecTV.
Oh, it's great.
Sunday marquee game. It was either Chiefs Eagles or Pats Saints, and I think it's Chiefs Eagles. I'm the most interested in that game. In Kansas City, I have Chiefs minus 5.5 against the Eagles. What'd you have?
We both had 5.5, and it's 4.5. It's right in that zone you don't trust, the Vegas
Yeah.
zone you call it. But
A lot of people convinced that the Chiefs are incredible. And
Well-
we see this every single year.
yeah,
everybody gets super duper excited from a week one performance, and the Chiefs would be the gold medalist in this category, and I think the Jaguars and the Eagles are silver and bronze in some order. Would be my
Is
my
Andy
top three.
Reid? Is there any ill will? Does he need this game more against the Eagles? Plus, with not a bye, but he has a great record on a bye week. But basically, he has 10 or 11 days to prepare. Is it extra important to him?
Prepare for to look at Wentz tape and try to figure out
Yeah.
a couple things with that too. Chiefs have a lot of speed. That's why even like they could be down 7 in the fourth quarter and they just get like some random 80-yard. That Tyreek Hill is terrifying.
It's amazing.
I was so scared of him in that game.
It's a team that typically it took them forever to score. For many, many years, it would take them forever to get up and down the field. Now you have Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill. They could be good for 2 or 3 big plays a game.
It makes me wonder if they are a top 4 team, giving away what they gave for Mahomes versus just using that pick for one more piece.
Right.
You know, but Eric Berry's good. That's going to bother them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
For
a big.
sure.
That's like the Edelman injury for the Pats, which was, you know, the Pats really missed Edelman in that game, and I think they're going to miss him this season. All right, the poop fecta.
Yeah, you have four
I have
games.
4
here.
for these. The first being the annual Browns go to Baltimore game to go see their old franchise that moved to Baltimore once upon a time.
That's right.
I had no idea what to do with this line. I made it Ravens by 9 because it's not like the Ravens offense was lights out. At the same time, I can't imagine any scenario taking the Browns unless it's like over 14. What'd you have?
It's funny. The Vegas is a little in tune with you. Are we sure the Brown? They don't know what to make this. I had 8.5. I went a little lower, and it's actually 7.5.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
that could be the scary game, or it could be the teaser game of the week. I don't know.
Well, they at
how we
least
wanna
prove
play
that they have backdoor cover potential, which you got to look at.
Yeah,
with,
that's great.
You know, you look at the Colts. Like the Colts are down 20-3.
Yeah.
The game, they're not. What are they? Scott Tolzien's going to lead 2 rallies in the second half.
No, it's not going to happen. Well,
This Browns team, Kaiser can do some stuff, and you know they're not
Corral's
awful.
a hard runner. He's good. They're decent. They can move the ball.
By the way, I called Kaiser Pfizer last week in the podcast.
You did?
Just it was an old man moment. I know his name's Kaiser. It's just listen. I turned 48 in 2 weeks. We're gonna have these moments this season. It's gonna happen. So just be prepared.
Oh, I'm waiting.
So Ravens were putting in a tease.
I think so. And how about Jeremy Maclin? Usually has to wait like 14 or 15 weeks before he scores a touchdown. Like that's a big sign for the Ravens.
I know.
It's nice.
I am a believer in the Ravens, especially at home.
Mm-hmm.
They have been. Barnwell, our old friend from Grantland, who now works for ESPN, did a piece about home field advantage and whether it actually matters or not.
He doesn't believe in that. He doesn't believe in streaks and
he
all
came
stuff.
up with all these stats trying to figure out if it matters. And really, the only 2 teams that had a real home field advantage were Seattle and Baltimore, which bore out basically what we've seen in the last few years. But Baltimore's home field advantage, we always hear about Seattle, the 12th man, all that stuff. Baltimore's great at home. And especially against bad teams. I don't know what the numbers are the last 10 years, but
I don't know. I feel like all the playoff teams are 6-2 at home and 4-4 on the road.
they're way better than that. Tate, will you look up some Baltimore stat from the last 5 years or something?
I'm just saying,
I think it's like 29-4. So it's really high.
Right.
Second poop fecta matchup: Raiders Jets. I did Raiders 13. I don't want to talk about this game with you.
I had 13.5, and I get it because it's 14.
Okay. Third one, Seahawks 49ers. I had Seahawks by 12.5.
You get that one. I had 12, and it's 13.
Yeah. So they're just begging us to put the Raiders and Seahawks in.
Well, they don't have to beg.
3-team tease.
I think I'm
They don't have to beg. They just politely asked.
Yeah,
You're doing it?
It's done.
And then the fourth poop fecta game, Rams Redskins.
Yeah.
I had the Rams by 2.5. I know I don't want to watch this game. Rams home. What do you have?
That Barnwell was right about. That is one home field advantage that doesn't matter. When there's 15,000 more fans at the Cowboys-Rams preseason game that I was at than there are at the opening game at the Colts. But it begs the question. Let me just say, you get this one because I had Redskins -2. I was going by the over on the win totals.
Yeah.
But and it's Rams -3 is the line. But would you want to win a Super Bowl every 4 years if it meant you couldn't sell out your arena?
Yes.
You would. Yeah. Like, I wonder what, like, Kroenke, this is more than he bargained for. You think he's asking, like, how far along are we?
Well, they
on the new
did some
stadium?
tricks. I think they limited the number. They only sold like 60,000 tickets.
Is that right?
I don't even know if they
Why?
sold out that because of the traffic and all different stuff. I had a couple friends that went.
Is that going to go away ever? What did I
Well, if you're removing 30,000 people going to the game, it makes it easier to get in.
No,
and
I
out.
know, but
It makes it easier to buy water, which was a problem last
They
year.
didn't want to run out.
But the by all accounts it got hot. The sun was out all day yesterday. It was in the mid 80s here, and you're just bait. There's no shade in that Coliseum at what was it? 2 o'clock, and from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. You're just baking. That's a good home field advantage for them, though.
It is.
They don't
for them?
care about. Yeah, they don't care what fans are there. It's like they want the other team
I
to
guess
be
if
baking.
they get used to it being hot, and I guess this is an East Coast team.
Yeah, the
coming
Washington,
west.
they have a shitty offensive line.
Right.
This is the week the Washington fans are going to really turn on Snyder. I think they're already disgusted by this team.
The whole McVay thing. Yeah,
So,
this could be. This is
the
more
Rams-
interesting than we think.
I laid this out in my column on Friday. Home for Indy week 1, blowout. Home for Washington week 2, it's looking great. At San Francisco, Thursday night week 3, San Francisco looked horrendous yesterday.
them at 3
all
now.
of us thought they were going to be a little better than that. At Dallas week 4, that's a loss. Home for Seattle week 5. If their D's going
That's a
and
fun
Seattle's
game all of a
offensive
sudden.
line, Wilson's
Right.
already banged up.
Well, they
it's
lost
suddenly
that
winnable.
last year, right? Seattle
Yeah.
was like 7.
Yeah, they
or
always
something,
they always have
stupid.
one game against Seattle. They either win or almost win. At Jacksonville week 6, home for Arizona week 7, bye week at the New York Giants week 8, home for Houston week 9. Like
Could be
that
like-
could be like 7-2.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. All right. 5 and 4. Yeah.
Lions last year. What were
Yeah.
the Lions last
Well,
year?
no,
Like
this would be
8-1.
the team.
I mean,
and they're getting Aaron Donald back.
we see this every single year, and this is the logical team this year. If you look at,
It's really
they
the
play
only
AFC South.
kind of team that could do it. Like when I'm not excited by the Bills win over the Jets.
No, but I will say
Jags,
though,
maybe.
Lombardi all summer has been like, that guy McDermott's a good coach. That guy's a leader, and you saw the
Right.
quotes from afterwards, and the Bills were like, "We follow
They love
McDermott.
him.
He's a leader. He's great."
They love
So
him. All right.
they're interesting. All right,
They're going to follow him to 6 and 10. But let me ask you real quick. We had and this was a nice start. We had the Cardinals with the most points on Sunday. What we got, like 15-1 yesterday?
12-1,
12-1?
disaster. We go with the
Disaster.
Rams.
Nice score. Nice start, though. They're up
Yeah,
7-0.
nice start.
What were the Rams? I was going to ask
The Rams were like 30-1.
30-1.
Yeah, we blew it. Yeah,
46
We should've-
points.
By the way, if we had gotten on the phone and talked about that for 10 minutes, I
Yeah.
think we would have sniffed that out.
We
Because
have to
you're
start
basically
looking at
betting
that.
against Scott Tolzien.
Yeah, it's fun.
I have 5 road favorites this week, and maybe that's off, but we'll just zoom through them. Titans at Jaguars. I had the Titans favored by 1.5. Did Vegas think the Jaguars should be favored in this game?
No, you got that. I thought, I thought Titans by 3.5, and you got it exactly. It's 1.5. Titans by 1.5.
Who do you like in that game?
I think I'm leaning Titans, but maybe I'm not giving it enough thought.
The case for the Titans would be the Raiders are really good this year.
Yeah.
And made the Titans look worse than they are, and they're actually pretty good.
I said to you, this is the one thing I'll reenact over text. I was like, are we ready to lose money on the Titans?
Again-
Let's bet the Raiders. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I'm not trusting that Raiders team. I was like, no, you're not getting it. We have to lose money. So
Right.
by staying away from the Raiders, we've actually also kind of lost money.
we
already.
whatever we chose would have
We'll
been a
do it.
bad idea.
Yeah.
Cards are at the Colts. This really was its own poop fecta matchup, but
Oh, good
Cards
Lord.
I had favored by 3.5 at the Colts. I definitely would not advise betting on this game.
I went slightly higher. I said 4, and I think we were off by. This is the one we were off most of on 7.5 is the line.
Oh wow!
Now you do want to bet it. Now you want to bet Arizona.
I don't. I didn't see one thing from Carson Palmer yesterday.
Yeah.
Tate, who do you like in that game? Cards 7.5 at the shittiest possible team in the league, Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think you got to give it to the Cards. At least they played a
I'm
good
not
team.
doing that. No David Johnson.
So much delay on
Who
the
are their
road for them.
weapons? I don't even. Who's
That's
their backup
rough.
running back?
Fitzgerald still plays hard. The
Andre
guy,
Ellington, who was good a few years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kerwin, right, yeah.
Good lord.
Guy Damashek tried to drop.
Steelers Vikings at Minnesota. I have the Steel. I think I hit this exact. Steelers by 3. I think that's the line.
Wait, let's see if you did. No. I had 5, and it's 7.
Steelers at Minnesota.
No, you got it wrong. It's Minnesota at Pittsburgh. right?
Oh, so they're not road favorites. Is it
No.
Minnesota at Pittsburgh?
It's got to be
So
Minnesota.
I wrote that
Pittsburgh.
wrong?
I'm taking credit for that, even if you wrote it wrong.
Yeah, I wrote it wrong. My bad.
Mini at Pittsburgh.
Oh, man. So I deserve to lose that one anyway.
Yes, I agree.
I would have guessed 7 for that. So that should not be in the road favorite category. That should have been in the
don't
Sunday
put that in the road.
watchables.
Don't put that.
So
in
that line, depending on how the Vikings do today, that line could shift.
yeah,
If the Vikings look awesome today, the line's going to go down like 5.5.
that's a fun game.
That's a good one. That's a great 70s uniform game.
Sure.
It's just nice to see
Yep.
Steelers Vikings.
Super Bowl rematch.
Cowboys at Broncos. I think I hit this one exact. Cowboys by 3.
No, I said 2.5, and it's 1.5. I don't know what they're expecting from Denver.
Well, we'll know tonight.
Yeah.
Denver takes care of
It
business.
is hard. We haven't seen these teams. It's
I like
rough.
your
It's
team.
4 teams.
I think your team's good.
I mean, we beat
Your
a team
defense is
that we
good.
didn't really have to prepare for much, it seemed like. And we methodically kicked the crap out of them. And I don't know. It wasn't much fun to watch, but
Your defense, the front sevens. I know the secondary is not as good as it was last year, but the front seven looks good.
they have some blue-collar guys that
Yeah.
play hard. But Skandrick broke his I think he's sitting out a game.
That's not good for you.
That could hurt.
And then
I mean, there's a broken wrist that's only one game. So I wonder, I don't know. They're misdiagnosing somebody. David Johnson or something's up.
the last one is Pat Saints for the road favorites. But before we do that,
Oh.
new sponsor that, God, this might be the best sponsor for the Simmons family that has ever been a sponsor for this podcast.
What is it?
We're all looking for something, Sal. For some, it's love. For some, it's purpose. For some, it's unforgettable experience.
Oh my
But for
God.
most, like my wife, it's your keys. My wife loses her keys 17 times a week.
Sunglasses too, right?
Sunglasses, her wallet. You should. When we were dating in Boston
Phone.
in the late 90s, early 2000s, just purse in the cab once a week. Like
Right.
just. So Track R Pixel. You'll never worry about losing things again. 8 years ago, Track R changed everything by releasing their first tracking device. Now they've done it again with the all-new Track R Pixel. The lightest Bluetooth tracking device on the market. Here's what you do. You place the Pixel on whatever you tend to lose. Keys, wallets, your dog. You can put it on one of your kids.
Is that right?
Whenever you misplace an item that has a Track R Pixel attached, use your smartphone, and a 90 decibel alert will help you find it in seconds. It has powerful LED lights so you can find things in the dark. It can even find your phone on silent.
I love
I'm
it.
just going to cover my wife and all of her belongings
Just
in
do
Track
it.
R Pixels.
Shoot it out of a gun. Yeah.
Since every Track R user is part of the largest crowd locate network in the world, you can even locate items from miles away. Thanks to the 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to thetrackr.com/BS for 20% off any order. That is thetrackr.com/BS for 20%.
I love it.
Hey, Track R, if you're listening, can you send me like 130 pixels? Even yesterday, my wife, she comes in the back to watch because I'm watching football, leaves her phone there, and then she's supposed to leave. 15 minutes later, I hear the beeping of her phone.
Yeah.
And she comes in, like, oh, there it is. It's
Yeah.
like you were just in here. You live. So
Yeah.
anyway, Track R.
That's the way to do it. We really are like 24 season 2 right now. Like what being able to track
really
stuff.
are.
This is great.
I think the stuff that happened with was it Equifax?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where basically everybody. It's
I
all
was apparently hacked.
Oh, no.
But yeah. I
It's-
checked the list. Did you check your list?
No.
Because apparently that's another scam. If you check, you have to put your social security
Yeah, I'm not
number
doing
in.
that.
Yeah.
So, remember in the mid 90s, everybody's like, don't put your stuff online. People,
Right.
and then within 10 years, everybody's like, no, it's fine now.
Yeah.
It's totally not fine. All of our information's out
I know,
there.
but
It's
how do you
terrifying.
not put your credit card in Amazon? Like, how do you just? It's so.
I trust
easy.
Amazon.
Right, I know, but it's still out there.
I was watching The Net with Sandra Bullock, which has been the most dated recent movie of the last.
That's a worse decision
25
than
years.
putting your credit card stuff.
I
on.
like mid 90s Sandra
I know you
Bullock.
do.
I get sucked in. I always have a soft spot for Sandy. Dennis Miller's in there as the as her psychiatrist
Oh, right, that's right.
boyfriend.
That's right.
Ends up getting killed. But that movie basically lays out everything that's happening now.
Really?
Yeah. Don't trust anybody.
That's
People
when
can
they thought
get
the
your,
internet was going to be called the net. Like that was going to be the hit
net.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone will call it the net. No one will call it the internet.
I still
that
believe
movie in
it's true.
Disclosure. They laid out this whole world that just
I like
be careful. All right, Sunday watchables. I got 3.
Wait, you didn't get to Patriots. You said before
yeah,
we got to
Patriots,
Patriots.
Saints,
We should
sorry.
talk about this.
Pats at Saints. I have -3.5 for the Pats.
You predictably went too low. You don't believe in your team. I went 6.5. and it's 6, and nobody's betting the Saints. Come on. No one's betting the Saints here. On a teaser, this is a freebie. You're not going 0-2. You're not going 0-2.
Our defense is terrible. The Chiefs, every time we're going to score a touchdown in the second half of that game. I'm scared.
Isn't
scared.
Bill Belichick salivating? Saints on a short week.
Great.
You have 10, 11 days to prepare.
I'm frightened. We have the worst set of linebackers we've ever had. As my dad said when we talked the next day, he was like, the white guy, not Van Noy, the other white guy. Who is that guy? Cassius? Where'd he come? Like these guys look like special teamers, and they're trying to cover Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
That's rough. That's a tough player to cover. You don't have to cover Brandon Cooks, though, on the Saints anymore. He's yours.
True.
That's what's good.
The fly in the ointment of this Pats season, people were worried about the front seven and that, who is the edge rusher? Do we have enough linebackers? And then the draft pick, Rivers, that they took in the 3rd round, that was going to be the big pick.
Gone.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
It's just Ninkovich retires. They just don't have enough bodies. But I'm sure they'll pick somebody off from like the Colts practice squad who end up with 11 sacks. But for week 2, I'm concerned.
The Patriots, historically low, between 2.5 and 3.5 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, up to plus 550 now.
Wow. Remember we talked last week about the 31 teams to win the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
not the Pats was like minus
Right.
550. I will say this is what makes me feel the best about this game. Brady in a dome has been really good. I don't know what the numbers are. Did you find the Ravens numbers?
Yeah.
What is it?
So Ravens cumulative home record since the Super Bowl 2013, 20 and 11, and then from 2008 to 2012, Ravens home record is 27-5. So pretty impressive.
So 2011, the last couple of years, that's not. But they've basically been a slightly over 500 team since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and those are 5 wins.
2011 home, and they're
the
like
Browns.
11 and 20. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right, not as quite as good as I thought, but still good. Sunday watchables, I have 3. I'm intrigued by Panthers Bills. It's in Carolina. I'm intrigued from a watchable sense of I want to see more from Cam Newton. I want to see how they use McCaffrey this week again because it was clear he was like this new toy they didn't know what to do with. They tried all these things with him, but I think they'll probably learn a couple things that worked, didn't work. And then the Bills, maybe the Bills will be frisky this year. Who knows?
Right.
They traded Watkins. They traded Darby. Everybody kind of wrote them off, but new coach. They had a bad coaching staff last year, obviously, with Rex Ryan. I'm intrigued by this game. I want to know what happens. What do you think?
I think this is going to be my trap game here. We both had 7, by the way, and the line is 7.5. And there's always a couple, maybe more 2-0 teams that are weird.
Yeah.
Is it the Bills? Is it the Jags?
Rams.
Is it the Rams this year?
Yeah.
Is it all 3? It could possibly be all 3, which is weird. But like I said, I like the Panthers. I'm not that impressed by the Bills over the Jets.
So the Texans killed everybody in the suicide pool this year.
Right? Oh, right. Yeah. I
And the
took
Panthers
Steelers.
look like the week 2 kill everybody who takes them.
Right. There's some good choices otherwise if you want Seattle and Oakland, just want to advance. But
True. But if you're trying to get cute, this one,
this would be
or
the one.
put the Panthers in a tease. I would just be careful of the Panthers. I didn't love what I saw this week. Second one, Bucks Bears. It was tough. We didn't have the Bucks Dolphins this week because of the hurricane, obviously. But there were 2 teams I were really intrigued by for week 1. I just kind of wanted to see Dolphins, Cutler. What's that going to look like? The Bucks, I think, are a Super Bowl contender. I was excited for that. So now we're getting Bucks Bears, which is a bummer because I also thought the Bears, they were kind of on my radar as maybe being like the frisky 6-10, 7-9 possibility team. They're definitely frisky. Bucks Bears, I had Bucks by 6.5. That's probably a point low.
No, it's high. I went 6 and it's 5.5.
Okay.
But I'll say this: Peter King did a nice job laying out the schedule for the next 3 weeks with Tampa and Miami. It's kind of brutal the way these guys have to travel.
It's a bummer.
So if you don't have to handicap any of these games, don't do it.
I really like the Bucks. I'm a believer.
All right.
And Tampa got hit hard yesterday with the hurricane, but there was about 4 hours before it hit there yesterday where it seemed like it was going to be a catastrophe.
Really bad. Yeah.
And then not as bad as I thought. I think everybody lost power and stuff like that, but that it really seemed terrifying there for about 4 hours. Chargers Dolphins.
Another one.
I have the Chargers -4 against the Dolphins. We have no idea. The Chargers haven't played the Broncos yet, so they might get killed tonight, and this line might go down. What'd you have?
Yeah, we haven't seen either of these teams. I don't know why. I had the Chargers -1, but you hit it on the head. It's -4.
Another fun 70s, 80s uniform matchup.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. Miami's been off, but traveling all over to get away from the storm. Chargers playing on a short week.
Also, first game in the 27,000 seat stadium.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to go? Let's go to both the Rams and the Chargers.
I'm so not going to go. I can't think of anything I'd not want to do more than go to a football game.
You know, like people on the East Coast, like, hey, you going to go to this game? The Rams or the Chargers are like, not only am I not going, I don't know anyone who's going.
I know.
Do you ever know anybody? It's sad.
I know.
I guess people go because they show stands.
Paid actors, extras.
Paid, is that what it is? It's like seat fillers left over from the Emmys. Yeah.
I know my friend Connor went yesterday, but he had awesome seats. I think you go if you have awesome seats. Otherwise, it's like maybe once a year, and then you bake in the stadium, and then vow never to go again.
I think an awesome seat is at home.
I mean, I would much rather watch 4 games at once, but Chargers Dolphins. I'm guessing 5, 6, 7,000 Dolphin fans there. If you're a Dolphins fan, you live in LA, you're going to that.
Yeah,
this is like your chance to see the Dolphins.
Are
there 7,000 fans?
Our friend Tony is a Dolphin fan, unceremoniously booted from our league. I imagine he's going to be
we never talked about that.
No, I know.
I recapped it on Wednesday a little bit.
Yeah.
When that so I had to play, if you didn't hear it, only 4 people hadn't been voted out in my fantasy league. I was one of the 4. And the people that won last year, Tall John and the traitor, Jamie Hagan, just a complete traitor. I'll never forgive him. Makes me play a Connect 4 game to stay in the league.
Right.
Going into that game, who was favored?
Well, I bought into your whole, I don't even know how many chips do we get. I don't get it.
That was good, though. That was smart, right?
Psychological warfare was
Anyone
great.
who has kids has played Connect 4. I mean,
Very smart.
I'm like, I don't know. What do we do?
Yeah.
Is it 4 dice? So I tried to psych Kyle out early.
So I made Kyle, mistakenly, I made him a -175 favorite, and he hasn't been, he's been high 24 hours a day for the last 8 years. So I probably should have rethought that.
8?
Yeah, maybe a little more.
Yeah, so I won pretty early. He just completely
you won in 6 moves. Like, it was weird.
There weren't a lot of chips in the thing. He just completely misses the 3 I had across.
Yeah. You're still angrier about it than the guy who got voted out.
Here's what makes me angry. We have this stupid rule that the champ gets to vote out somebody every year.
That's great.
We had somebody that didn't show up for the draft.
But you can't kick him out because he was kicked out last year. So he had
what
someone.
Do you mean?
Coerce was kicked out last year, so that guy comes back automatically.
Oh, is that the rule?
Yeah, that's
I didn't realize the rule book.
What's the matter with you?
Well, he sends a proxy. I mean, I would have kicked out the proxy.
Well, he was in Greece.
Make my own rule.
I know.
But and meanwhile, so now there's only 3 people left that have been kicked out.
Right.
Craig Powell, who is that Brian Bart, and they were there together this year.
Has no enemies.
No, Craig Powell has no enemies. He's the guy in Survivor who makes the final 3, never won a challenge. It's my goal to get people to turn on Powell this year.
The problem is it's not funny enough. It's funny if you're gone. It's funny if Tony's gone. It's funny if John Hamm goes. It's obviously funny if I go because I came up with this dumb wrinkle.
Right.
But if you're kind of steady,
John Hamm is doing a lot of trash talking this week.
Oh my God.
I was very surprised.
He
sent a lot of
10
Pats jokes.
Emails. I had forgotten he was a Chiefs fan.
A lot of Pats jokes.
Yeah.
I think he had forgotten he was a Chiefs fan. Sunday night, Falcons-Packers.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, in the new Mercedes-Benz Dome or whatever the hell they're calling it.
Nice.
Falcons I have by -2.5 over the Packers.
You got it exactly. I pulled the trigger on 3. I thought they were good enough to give 3 at home.
I think
it's 2.5.
Packers coming off that nice Seattle win.
Yeah. Is this an NFC Championship preview, or was Green Bay yesterday's game NFC Championship? Or is Dallas in the mix?
I think that Falcons-Bears game was kind of illuminating with the Falcons.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Come on. They should have lost to the Bears. If Howard...
That's a tough road game, I think, coming out of the gate.
It's week 1. Take care of business in week 1. I'm not a believer in the Falcons.
All right. All right.
I perennially you want to take them in these night games.
Right.
It's nice to take. I have no idea what the sound's going to be like in that dome. Do you think Arthur Blank, does he go to the sidelines or does he just never do that again?
No, he's done with that. I think he's done.
I've watched the Super Bowl 51 now 11 times and might have to watch another 20 if the season keeps going in the direction that it's going in. The best part is when Arthur Blank comes down with his girlfriend.
It's sad, isn't it?
No, it's not sad at all. I love it every time. It makes me so happy. And then it's like, what do you do when the game turns like that and you're down in the, like, does he pretend to go to the bathroom and just run?
I think so.
What is it? Tate, what would you do if you're Arthur Blank? You're a billionaire. You have a cool 1920s mustache. You bring your girl down so you can watch your team win the Super Bowl. Things flip. You've completely underestimated the greatest quarterback of all time. Do you just stay in the sideline with that dumb look on your face? What do you do?
Just twirl your mustache and count your money later that night.
I think maybe he's built the stadium with that in mind, and there's some trap door. He could
get Home Depot on the side. He can figure something out.
Exactly. He can get out of it. So
no, what he should do is that medical tent they built. They should put the trap door in that. It's like, I'm going to go in the medical tent to see how that guy, and then he's just gone.
Or an ejector button through the roof. That would look cool. Too.
So you like the Falcons in this game?
Guess
it sounds
so.
like.
I don't know. It's too early.
All right, Monday night. Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
At Giant Stadium. I predicted that he's getting 3 points, him and his Lions in Giant Stadium. Giants minus 3.
I thought you meant scoring total. Yeah, no, I said 3.5. It's up to 5, and I guess they assume that Beckham's playing.
Do the Giants have a home field advantage?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of stinkers in that stadium that make you go... It's almost like a home field disadvantage if Eli throws a pick in the first quarter.
Well, then they're all over.
The crowd gets bummed out, and there's just like a weird vibe in there. It's one of those.
But I've seen them lose games when they like retire Sims, Number, all these guys, Bavaro, and like it just, you think it would inflate them, but there's nothing there.
Have they run out of Giants territories like Phil McConkey?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean, is Tiki Barber the best position player before Beckham?
I don't know. I bought a ton of tickets from Craig Carton for this game, so I'm gonna still got to unload some.
That's a baby client. Be careful.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No. A lot of I told you so's. Probably shouldn't get into it. No, I told me. What do I know?
We never did that.
Speaking of baby, we have Emmys.
Yeah, should we do Make Believe Casino?
Oh, I mean, you could really bet them.
We can actually bet
Yeah, I wanted to go over some of these.
All right, let's go.
There's nothing to make believe.
So we're not even going to the Captain Morgan's Make Believe Casino for this one?
We need to. I don't know. It's kind of docked, you know. They're regassing. Yeah.
Okay.
Best drama. Actually, I'll just call them out and you tell me who's favored.
Okay.
House of Cards, Better Call Saul, Westworld, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, This Is Us, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is going to win.
Really?
Yeah.
Stranger Things plus 130, Handmaid's Tale plus 175. I say Handmaid's Tale. I think it runs away.
Handmaid's Tale. That's like the cute kind of no, it's like the cute choice that tries to win over the critics because if you look how smart I am, I'd voted for. Mm-hmm. But that shouldn't win.
It won. So they have the creative.
Not a comedy, Handmaid's Tale.
No, it's not that funny. It really isn't that funny.
I went into it thinking it was going to be funnier than it was. It's not a funny show.
A couple of belly laughs in the middle, but yeah, no.
This is Us.
Well, so maybe that's the one.
Is a sleeper, I think, for that category because it's so hard to make a network drama that reaches a ton of people. And like my wife, does your wife watch that show?
No.
Your wife doesn't watch that show.
Your
wife will cry though, right?
Loves it. And
is your wife a crier?
Yeah, but not with TV. Only with things I say to her.
My wife's a crier.
She is. Yeah.
And I think they had 18 episodes in the first season. I think she cried during 16 of them.
Did she?
Yeah.
But it was only because she couldn't find her phone.
First she had the Track R Pixel attached to her tears.
Well, Sterling K. Brown, this is for, we can go through it. Best Actor, minus 200. Odenkirk, plus 225.
No way.
The Westworld guy, Anthony Hopkins, 5-1. Matthew Reese, 850. And then it gets another This Is Us.
So Sterling K. Brown. Plus, people like him because he was in the OJ thing last year.
That's probably a run. That's probably good odds for him, right?
Kind of want to parlay him with somebody.
Let's take that. Okay.
What team could we can we parlay him with a team?
Patriots.
What about the Ravens?
Ravens
And Sterling K. Brown.
Well, no, we didn't want the Browns. We wanted the Ravens.
No, Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Best actress drama. Elizabeth Moss runs away with it. Minus 600.
Who else?
Claire Foy for The Crown, plus 225. Robin Wright, 20-1.
No.
Evan Rachel, 25-1. Viola Davis, 30. Kerry Russell, 40.
People do like Viola Davis, though.
That's way down there, though. No.
Okay. What's comedy actress? Do you have that one?
Well, comedy is Veep, minus 500. Atlanta, 3. Could Atlanta win that? 3
Every
to
year
1.
they do something wacky.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta 3-1 is in play at least.
Let's keep that in mind. Best actor comedy.
Certainly the best show I
Donald
watched last
Glover,
year.
Atlanta, minus 300. Over Jeffrey Tambor, plus 300. And
Man, he's won a few times.
William H. And the fact that that's a comedy is, ridiculous.
It's funny. I wouldn't say Donald Glover. I think the show is spectacular. I wouldn't say he's like De Niro in Taxi Driver in it. He's the way he plays it is really smart and funny. But
Zach Galifianakis has my vote, 30-1. He should win 2, right? I mean, he's playing 2 characters in baskets. And then the last one.
What's Issa Rae? Is she nominated?
What, is she? Oh, for
Insecure
for comedy. Wait,
she didn't get nominated for comedy.
No.
Who are the comedy?
Claire Foy, Crown, Robin Wright, Evan Rachel.
No,
Wood.
for comedy.
What did you say? Which? Oh, best comedy.
Best comedy actress.
Veep, Atlanta. Yeah, that's what I had. Best actress.
No, the one with Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay,
This is like a Who's on First routine.
Sorry. This is what I'm getting to. Julie Louis-Dreyfus is minus 1,000. Tracy Ellis Ross, Blackish, plus 450.
She's good.
Lily Tomlin, 12-1.
No.
Ellie Kemper, 15.
No.
Allison Janney, 20. Jane Fonda, 40. Pamela Adlon. Adlon, right?
Yeah, that's Louis' girlfriend.
Louis, right.
No Issa Rae in that category.
So what are the runaways?
That's my favorite show.
Veep, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, and Elizabeth Moss. Those are the biggest favorites?
Veep's hitting that danger point where
At
it's
some
won
point
so
it
many
will be.
times, people
Yeah.
get bored.
All right.
You don't watch Insecure in your house.
No.
Tate, you watch Insecure?
Yeah, I've seen the first season.
You didn't see the second season?
Not yet. No.
Second season's great. I only have 2 people on the Ringer staff to talk to about it.
Really?
Hannah and Allison. That's it.
Well,
It's
going to remain.
I gotta find more people.
Tate's too busy. He's editing. He's got his own podcast. He's editing ours.
Tate's got like 7 podcasts.
It's crazy.
So that's what we're doing. Sterling K. Brown. That's our big. That's our
I
big
think
recommendation.
that's it. Sterling K. Brown's on a teaser.
Jesus. Anything else? Anything to plug?
Yeah, against all odds. We're going to go over college stuff, pro football, Triple G, Canelo. How did this fight fall by the wayside? This is crazy. This is a huge fight. Like should be much better.
Wrong
than
weekend.
Mayweather McGregor.
It's going against the Emmy weekend.
I
and
know.
Whole thing.
I
I think
know.
they had issues with trying to figure it out.
Well,
But it seems like I just like that first week in November is my favorite fight weekend.
first week in
After
November, what
NBA
happens?
starts. No, it's just like
there's
right
so
around
much going
then.
on.
it's-
That Halloween, that is when NBA starts. Yeah.
No, NBA is starting this year on October 15th, but
This is after the World Series.
it feels, this September 16th feels soon for a giant fight.
I know, but it's just because we just got over.
Who do
that
we like?
stupid
What are the
thing.
odds?
I think Alvarez is minus 170. I'm sorry. Triple G minus 170.
I thought 3 years ago that Alvarez had no chance against him.
Down to minus 150. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Wow. Minus 150. It's just because Triple G looked old in that last fight.
This is going to be, they're going to get more than one fight out of this, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So be careful.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. What a week. First of all, tonight we have Larry David and Dave Salmoni. We have Sloane Stevens and Sean Spicer later in the week, too.
Sloane Stevens, what day
They're
is she
not
on?
dating those
She's
two.
my favorite athlete.
She's Wednesday or Thursday. I'll have to look it up.
I
Watch
got
every
so
night.
into that U.S.
You love
Open
that,
run.
yeah.
I like the way she handles herself. She seemed like so genuine.
Yeah, she didn't want
All
to hug.
these
She didn't want to
athletes-
hug that girl. She's stuck in there.
No, she loved that girl
She
though.
did? All right.
But she seemed so even the interviews she would give after matches.
Right.
We're so used to tennis robots. Serena has a personality, but she just chooses when to dole it out. But like the Sharapova type of personality, and I don't know. I really like Sloane Stevens. You know who she dates? Josie Altidore.
She does?
Yeah,
Really?
striker on the U.S. men's national
Oh,
team.
that's why I like
I
it.
love-
That's what's going on.
I
here.
love when athletes date. I always try to figure out what
Nomar
sport their kid
started
would
it,
play.
and
No
now,
more on me. It was like
yeah.
that. I loved when Agassi and Steffi Graf dated. Their kid is now like a star baseball player, already got recruited for one of the best colleges. He's
Right,
like a
right,
junior.
right. Yeah.
Josie and Sloane Stephens. I mean, you take her hand-eye and then his physicality, that could be one of the great ones.
Who's the cornerback for Tampa? Grimes and his girl?
Yeah.
Grimes.
She's an MMA fighter, right? What is
The Steffi
Lord.
Graf Agassi kid, though.
Yeah, that's
If
awesome.
that kid becomes like a 15-year MLB career, he just has like crazy hand speed.
Right.
I love an
be
athlete
fun.
state. It's my favorite. We should also mention every Friday morning we're putting up your pick.
Yes, my
on
best
the Ringer, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, all that stuff. It always makes me nervous when you take a high favorite.
All right, I know.
Listen, you've done great the last few years, but yeah, you might want to do a second.
I got
game.
the feel of a screw job early. Like I got
You
that
got it
feel.
out of your
You know when you
system.
get that feeling, like, oh yeah, okay. Steelers are not interested in scoring after third quarter.
Thanks also to DirecTV. Don't forget NFL Sunday Ticket.tv, promo code Bill Simmons. You get 15% off. Oh, I wanted to mention Shack House,
Oh,
the podcast presented by Callaway with Joe House and Jeff Shackelford. They're not doing it this week.
there's
but
no golf, right? I think
Callaway's
they get a 2-week break.
Epic Driver.
Oh.
Not only the number one selling driver in the U.S., it will be the number one driver in play at the President's Cup. If you're not playing an Epic Driver, bring your gamer to a local retailer. Test them head to head. Visit CallawayGolf.com for more details on how Epic delivers more half speed. Joe House, big golfer. Big in the
Yeah.
golf community these days. You got into golf this year, which shocked me.
He got me into gambling.
You
on
got
golf.
into
It's
gambling
great.
on golf.
Well, he picked like 4 out of 5 major winners.
Are you going
in
to start
a row.
playing golf?
No.
Would
I
you be
feel
good
like-
at golf?
I feel like I'll start hating it. No.
I can't figure out your athletic thing. Like, you're an unbelievable softball player.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
But I would think golf, like
Keep
hand-eye
going.
coordination, you'd be.
I'm too tight. I'm too stiff, I think. I'm from the wrestling, softball, just, everything's compact.
Wrestling's a big concussion sport.
Yeah, it is.
Did you ever get a concussion in wrestling?
No, I got like emphysema a lot and like weird shit happen.
Like the weird staph
yeah,
infections?
when
and-
you rub up against the mat and everything. But no, not concussion.
My son is determined to become the next Wes Welker.
We have to get him in there.
He's
Wes
he's
Welker.
the flag football.
No, not that.
No, he's
Yeah.
all in a flag football right now because he's got his first flag football season.
When's his game?
He's
Did he
super
start?
fast.
Yeah.
And we've been working on like catches and stuff. It's great. I mean,
Good.
hopefully he'll have his first concussion in about a year. No,
Not flag foot. He'll be
no,
fine.
flag it'll be fine,
He'll
right?
Be good. Yeah, flag's easy. Yeah. But it's fun enough.
Cuss, good job at you.
Good job by you, Belly.